Great email designs don't just mean pretty pictures. Great email designs mean creating emails that get to the inbox, spark curiosity, and help convert people into purchasers. In this video, I'm going to run through the exact email design process that we use for our 7- and 8-figure clients. So let's dive in. Now, whenever you're designing an email, the first thing that you want to consider might not be exactly what you think it is. The first thing you want to consider is deliverability. If you can't get to the inbox, it doesn't matter how great your email is. You have the best copywriters and best designers, it won't convert because it didn't get in front of your subscribers. So here's a few design tips and things you want to avoid to make sure you actually get to the inbox. The first is just make sure your email design is 600 pixels wide. You can export it as 1200 and then import it into Klaviyo from there. Now, there's 3 major pitfalls you want to avoid if you want to stay out of the spam folder. The first is just make sure your email isn't too long and the file size is not too large. The best way to do this is to make sure images and image files are not too large. While platforms like Klaviyo can handle up to 5 megabytes, it's recommended to keep the file size under 1 megabyte or even smaller than that. Here's an example of an email that is way too long. Now, the second major pitfall is just uploading everything as one image. Emails that are 100% images or very image heavy may just trigger spam filters. This is because spammers may often try to send scams in an image to avoid those spam filters. Instead of this, emails should contain a little bit of a combination of images and text. Now, ideally, they should contain at least 500 text characters to avoid the spam filters. Now, you might see lots of big brands sending full image emails, but here's the thing. They likely have a much higher authority and domain reputation than you do, so they have a much easier time avoiding spam. You don't really actually know what their deliverability looks like either, so behind the scenes, it could be real trash and not pretty. Trust me, I have seen behind the scenes of some of these brands and it's disgusting. The third major pitfall we see is over hyperlinking. We'll dive into this a little bit later on in the video, but the main thing here is keep the links to a minimum. Don't have 27 different links or links to other sources or things like that. A large amount of hyperlinked text can also be considered a red flag for ESPs or email service providers. Okay, so the other thing you really want to focus on, and this might sound very obvious, but send engaging content. Send content that people actually want to see and send it to people who actually want to receive it. Don't batch and blast your entire list. If you do this, you're going to have a ton of people bouncing, a ton of people who just don't open, and a lot of people who are just not interested. So that is a big one that'll help you maintain a positive email health and a positive domain reputation. All right, so now that we've made sure that these designs are actually getting into the inbox, let's dive into some general design best practices. Now, just before we do that though, one of the biggest pitfalls people make when designing an email is just overfilling that email. Remember, what is the purpose of the email? Well, it's to spark curiosity and it's to get people to click on the email. The purpose of the email and the objective here is not to get them to purchase. That is your website's job. We need to get in front of people and give them a compelling reason to click the email and go to your website. Then they buy on the website. Now, I've seen a lot of email marketers and brands try to get as much information as humanly possible in emails. And there's 2 mistakes that they're making here. One is over-explaining or overwriting. Keep it simple. People don't want to read paragraph upon paragraph. A trick I use when I'm writing is just write it once, edit it down, leave it, and then come back later and edit it down further. There's usually a lot of filler words that don't really matter, or even sentences that just add nothing to what you're trying to say. You're not trying to hit a word count on a grade 12 English assignment. You're just trying to get your message across with the fewest words possible. That is genuinely one of the things that grinds my gears the most about English class is requirements on how long something had to be. Anyways, I digress. The second mistake is adding too many different things or topics into your emails. Adding a sale promotion, a product spotlight, a reminder about a local market you're going to, a blog post, hey, check out this thing, hey, we're doing a new product launch, and a request for a review. This is all in one email, and it leads to decision paralysis. If you've got a sale and you want to promote that sale, promote the sale. And make sure that is the only call to action. We don't want 17 different things that people can choose from. If you want people to leave a review, make sure that that's the only call to action. Keep it simple and make sure people know exactly what you want them to do in each email. With this email, for example, this is a product spotlight email. Our only objective here is to talk about how great the pillow slides are and why people who don't have them are missing out. That's it, nothing else. Okay, so now that we've cleared that up, let's dive in and break down a few emails and why they work so well. Okay, here's the first email. Well, they've got a clear header. They are addressing a clear pain point. The CTA is above the fold. The CTA pops. There's another pain point here. And then get into dreamscaping and what life would look like without those pain points. And then they hit on benefits and a call to action. Now, other notes about this email is the colors are on brand, the colors are consistent. There's one main CTA, one main objective of the email, and there's a lot of white space, meaning things are not overwhelming for people and their eyeballs. Okay, so here's the second email. You can see they've got a clear header, and again, a header addressing the pain point, got a CTA above the fold, the CTA pops, there's urgency in there, there's another call to action, there's a benefits section and a use case section, and then another call to action. Other notes about this email is the colors are, again, on point. One main CTA, one main objective of the email, and lots of white space. Again, not overwhelming to the eyeballs. Okay, so the third email here is very similar. There's a clear header, and this is a sale email, so we really want the sale to pop right at the top. You want people to know exactly what the email is about. You've got a CTA above the fold, you've got your ideal persona at the top, and then you highlight some of the top selling products below. There's also some reviews in there as well, which adds social proof. So overall, those are three great examples of emails that you can leverage. So overall, those are three great examples of emails that converted very, very well. So hopefully that helped to give you an idea of what kind of your emails can look like and what to look for in emails. Now, let's break down each different section of the email and any email, right? The first thing is the header. This is the first thing that people see when they open an email. It needs to pop. And the main purpose of the header is to get people's attention, get them interested, and make them want more. We typically want to have our logo at the very top, really, really small there, and then right below that have a main header. Oftentimes, this is going to be an image with a text overlay, or it could just be an image and text, or it could just be an image. The header needs to pop though. It needs to grab attention. If you've got a promo, you want to make sure that is in the header. And if it's not a promo, you want to make sure it makes people actually want to read on. The focus should be on making someone feel something, right? So the image selection here is really important. If we sell workout supplements, we might want to show an athlete in peak performance. Okay, so the next piece is the subheader or the intro. Now, either within the main header or just below it, we're going to want to include a subheader. Now, it's not absolutely necessary, but if you need to explain a little bit more about your sale or promotion or product spotlight or something like that, or even like just in general what the email is about, this is where you want to do it. Either tell them more about the sale, create some urgency, create some scarcity, agitate pain points. And you don't always have to have this subheader, but if you do, just make sure it's actually beneficial and make sure it flows into the body. Now, the body of the email is the meat and potatoes of the email. It's really going to vary depending on what type of content or what type of email you're sending. Sometimes it's not super important because if it's a sale, people are going to see the sale and they're going to be like, done, I'm ready, I want to click on that CTA. So there might actually be like no body. Now, remember, our goal is to say what we need to say in as few words as humanly possible. So keep things short. Point form works really well here too. And if you do need to elaborate, just chop those thoughts into smaller bite-sized chunks. No one wants to read an essay. Again here, just keep it simple. Now, the big pitfalls you want to avoid in your body text beyond this are, number one, trying to fill up the entire 600 pixels. If you have no white space, it's going to seem overwhelming. White space gives readers a break. It's not bad to have white space, and it really just makes the email seem less intimidating. And honestly, it looks way better. Put these emails side by side and you'll see exactly what I mean. The first one is hella intimidating. My eyes go everywhere and I feel like they're just spazzing out. Now the second flows far better and is way less intimidating to read. Number two is just talking about you. Customers don't care about you. They care about how you can help or benefit them. Your copy should speak to that. Instead of talking at people, talk to people. Focus on benefits versus features and use a mix of images and text to show people how they can benefit from your products. Now, if you're going to use images in your body, I would highly, highly encourage you to be intentional with the images. You should never just have images to have images. We should be intentional with the images we select and make sure that they actually make sense for the email. So if it's abandoned cart versus a welcome series, make sure you're intentional with the images you're selecting, or they maybe hint at the benefits that people get. Again, here, ideally, we want to alter people's emotional states. Now, within the body of an email, you may want to have a dynamic product feed. These are particularly helpful for flows, so like an abandoned cart or browse abandonment or abandoned checkout. Typically, they're used for displaying products that people just viewed on your website, but you can also leverage these to highlight some of your top sellers, most popular viewed products, among other things. They also might be helpful in campaigns if you've got a ton of products and they're constantly updating on your website. Oftentimes, they'll use a dynamic product feed to share top-selling products or trending products when we don't want to manually create the section, or we want to leverage some of Klaviyo's machine learning to show the most appropriate products. If you, for example, only have one piece of inventory for each product, a couple of our clients have that, you don't want to create an email and then after you've created the email, got it approved and everything, you find out, oh, damn, our inventory's out. It's super annoying. So if that's the case, you want to create something that's more dynamic. Now, instead of going in each time and recreating the dynamic product feed, you can create a standard for your brand. Not only will this keep things consistent across your emails, but it'll also save you a ton of time and a ton of energy redoing it every single time. Go into an email design, select the dynamic product section like so, and then click the star button to save it as a universal content block. For our clients, we always want to make sure that the text and image is linked to a product. We want to make sure that the image size looks good, i.e. it's not way too big or way too small, and it also looks appropriate from a spacing perspective. The next thing is the CTAs. So you'll see there's a few CTAs here. And CTA is one of the most important parts of an email. At the end of the day, our goal is not to keep people in the email forever. Our goal is to get them to read it, click, and then go to our website and buy. We want that CTA to prompt that action and make them do something. Without well-placed CTAs, or without having CTAs at all, God forbid, your emails will not convert into revenue. Our CTA should be very action-based, and we want to tell people and tell customers what action we want them to take. And here's the thing. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video when I was reviewing some of the designs, we want to make sure we have one strong CTA. We don't want an email with 17 different CTAs because confused brains don't buy. Our general SOP here is always have a CTA above the fold, i.e. before people have to scroll. Add an additional CTA at the bottom of each email, and then in longer emails, we'll often have 3 CTAs if it makes sense to do so. They should all pop. It should be on brand, but it shouldn't just blend in with the email. And you should be able to scan through your email and see the CTAs in your peripheral vision. I can say that right. It should contrast the rest of the email. So if you're looking this way, you should be able to see it here and see the CTAs without having to focus on them. Now, the final piece here, we've made it through the meat and potatoes of the email, is the footer. You are not done yet. Don't forget all the things we just went through earlier in this video, because most brands do. The footer is key, and often it's a massive missed opportunity. First, the boring stuff. If you're in Canada or the US or any country in Europe, you need to include the following information in every single email. You need a mailing address, an email address, and an unsubscribe link. If you do not, it is illegal. I repeat, it is illegal. If you do not have it, that's an issue. Now, in addition to this, we often add social proof, brand benefits, not just benefits of certain products, and a contact us link. And usually we'll add social media icons, and we might add PR and other social proof there as well. Anyways, I hope this video helped you out, and if it did, please feel free to like and subscribe. And if you do have an e-commerce brand doing at least $50,000 a month in revenue, and you want help improving your profitability with email marketing and SMS, I'd invite you to apply below. Thanks so much, and have a great day.